Welcome to the channel Rare Coins Numix. Today, we're uncovering the top 5 rare US quarters that could be hiding in your pocket and worth a small fortune. Stick around till the end. You won't want to miss which coins are worth thousands. And don't forget to subscribe for more exciting coin stories and tips. Let's get started. Top 1. To understand the significance of the 1988 USA quarter dollar, we need to look at the time period it emerged from. The 1980s, as most of us know, were a transformative decade. The world was on the cusp of major technological changes, and America was buzzing with cultural shifts, economic challenges, and political milestones. The quarter, though seemingly just another piece of currency, was more than just a coin. It was a silent witness to the changing tides of American life. Let's step back into the late 1980s. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, guiding America through a time of economic growth, but also confronting some serious foreign policy tensions, like the ongoing Cold War with the Soviet Union. Amidst this backdrop, the United States Mint was busy producing coinage that reflected not just the times, but also the American spirit. And then, in 1988, something significant happened in the world of coinage: the production of a quarter that would become a symbol of both craftsmanship and rarity. At first glance, the 1988 USA quarter dollar might look like just another coin in your pocket, but hidden within its details lies a deep connection to the American experience. It was a coin designed with precision, intended to circulate widely and carry with it a sense of national pride. The 1988 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has been a staple of American currency since 1932. The design features the iconic image of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Created by artist John Flanagan in the early 1930s, Washington's likeness on the quarter is instantly recognizable. However, by the time the 1988 version rolled off the press, the design had undergone various changes over the years, and it had evolved to reflect a more modern, streamlined image of the Founding Father. In 1988, the Washington quarter continued to honor this tradition, but what really made it stand out from previous years was the attention to detail in its striking and the surrounding events that made the coin's release unique. While the quarter's design didn't change dramatically from year to year, the 1988 quarter was produced during a time when the U.S. Mint was already contemplating future changes to its currency, reflecting the times and advancements in technology. The minting process for the 1988 quarter involved striking millions of coins, each one carefully crafted with the precision expected from the U.S. Mint. But, as with any large-scale coin production, there were always opportunities for error, small variations that could make a coin far more valuable than its face value. These imperfections, or errors, are often the key to understanding why certain coins from a specific year become highly sought after by collectors. One of the most common features that numismatists look for in rare coins like the 1988 quarter is the type of minting error, such as misprints, off-center strikes, or double die imprints. These anomalies may seem like simple mistakes, but in the world of coin collecting, they are golden opportunities. To the casual observer, a coin with a tiny imperfection might be brushed off as a mistake, but to the trained eye, it's an incredibly valuable treasure, a window into the coin's unique journey from the mint's press to circulation. While the 1988 quarter itself is not rare in the conventional sense, millions were minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. It's the potential for those little-known errors that can set a seemingly ordinary coin apart. And it's not just about the errors, either. The overall quality of the coin, the sharpness of its details, the smoothness of its strike, the brightness of its finish, all contribute to how desirable it becomes in the eyes of collectors. Collectors and numismatists are constantly on the lookout for coins that embody the rich history of American currency, and the 1988 quarter fits that profile beautifully. Whether it's due to its production in a particularly historic year or the small details that set certain coins apart, this quarter has a following. The question, then, becomes, what makes the 1988 quarter so valuable? The true value of a coin doesn't just come from its year of production. Instead, it's about rarity, condition, and historical significance. In the case of the 1988 quarter, the coin is often found in a wide variety of conditions, from heavily worn and circulated examples to pristine, uncirculated specimens. Of course, those pristine examples are the ones that truly stand out in the eyes of collectors. But there's more to it than just the condition of the coin. It's about the rarity of the coin in circulation. During the late 1980s, millions of coins were produced and distributed, which means finding a coin in mint condition is somewhat of a rarity. Coins that have been carefully preserved over the years, kept away from the elements and handled with care, are the ones that attract the most attention. For example, in the case of the 1988 quarter, a coin that has been well preserved or remains in near-perfect condition could be worth far more than its 25-cent face value. However, even with the potential for minting errors and variations, it wasn't until later that collectors began to realize the true worth of the 1988 quarter. As we've established, the value of a coin can often depend on how rare it is, the condition it's in, and whether it carries any special features like minting errors. But there's one final factor that truly drives the value of a coin through the roof: demand. Collectors, dealers, and investors alike keep a close eye on coins that might hold historical importance or are connected to significant moments in American history. And when a coin like the 1988 quarter becomes a symbol of something much larger, its value can rise exponentially. Now, here's the big reveal: the 1988 quarter has a value that might shock you. While many may assume it's just another quarter, one in pristine, error-free condition has been known to fetch incredible prices. In fact, certain 1988 quarters, particularly those with rare minting errors or those in perfect, uncirculated condition, can command values upwards of $123,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1988 quarter, worth only 25 cents when it was originally minted, could be worth over $123,000 in today's market. It's a staggering figure, but it underscores just how valuable the world of coin collecting can be and how even the most unassuming coins can hide extraordinary stories and significant value. So, the next time you come across a quarter, remember, what might seem like just a small piece of currency could hold the key to a fascinating journey through American history and even a significant financial windfall. If you're lucky enough to stumble upon one of those rare 1988 quarters, you might just be holding a treasure worth far more than you ever expected. Imagine you're flipping through a stack of coins you've collected over the years. Some old, some new, and one coin catches your eye: a 1993 quarter dollar. At first glance, it seems like just another coin in your collection, a simple piece of history with no real distinction from its neighbors. But is it really just a run-of-the-mill quarter? What if I told you that the 1993 USA quarter dollar is far more than it appears? In fact, it's a coin with a fascinating history, an intriguing design, and a hidden potential that might surprise even the most seasoned coin collectors. To understand why the 1993 quarter has garnered so much attention in the world of numismatics, let's first take a step back in time. The early 1990s were a period of great change in both the United States and the world. Bill Clinton was inaugurated as the 42nd president, bringing new hopes for economic prosperity and social change. The Cold War had officially ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union, and America was stepping into the future, ready to embrace the technological advancements that would define the next few decades. But what about the coins? Amidst the political and economic shifts, the United States Mint continued its mission of producing coins that would reflect not just the nation's needs, but also its sense of identity and history. The quarter, in particular, has been a cornerstone of American currency since its introduction in 1796, and by the time the 1993 quarter came around, it had already become a familiar symbol of American values, stability, patriotism, and resilience. The 1993 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which had been in circulation since 1932. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the image of George Washington on the obverse of the quarter has remained largely unchanged over the years. On the reverse side, an eagle stands proudly, symbolizing strength and freedom. The design has been one of the most enduring in American coinage, and the 1993 quarter is no different in that regard. However, while the design of the 1993 quarter may seem familiar to most, it's important to note that each coin produced by the U.S. Mint is unique in its own way. Coins from different years, minting locations, and even production runs can vary in subtle ways that make them more desirable to collectors. These variations are what make numismatics such an intriguing hobby, and it's these very differences that can turn an ordinary quarter into a highly coveted piece of history. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced quarters in both Philadelphia and Denver, as it did every year. The Philadelphia Mint Mark P and the Denver Mint Mark D were stamped on the coins to indicate their origin. But here's where things start to get interesting. Despite the minting of millions of these coins, not all of them were created equal. The slightest imperfections in the minting process, small errors that would go unnoticed by most, can actually lead to a quarter becoming a rare and valuable item. These imperfections can be anything from a misaligned strike to double die errors, or even cracks in the die used to stamp the coins. These minting anomalies can drastically increase a coin's value, and the 1993 quarter, like many coins from this era, has its share of these potential treasures. Of course, not every 1993 quarter is going to be a rare find. Most of the coins that were struck in 1993 circulated through the economy, passing through countless hands and accumulating the wear and tear of everyday life. Many quarters from that year were eventually lost, damaged, or melted down, their original luster gone forever. But among the millions that were minted, some would survive the test of time, remaining in pristine condition and escaping the ravages of daily life. These uncirculated coins, often kept in protective cases or rolls, are the ones that collectors seek out with great interest. The value of a coin, of course, isn't just determined by its condition. Rarity is an equally important factor. Even if a coin is in perfect condition, it still needs to be rare to hold significant value. This is where the concept of error coins comes into play. During the production of the 1993 quarter, some coins were struck with mistakes, errors that make them stand out from the rest. For example, a double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the design to appear blurry or doubled. In some cases, these errors are subtle, but in others, they're glaringly obvious. A quarter with such an error can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on its rarity and condition. Another factor that plays into the value of the 1993 quarter is its historical significance. While the coin itself may not be associated with any major historical event, its creation is part of the larger story of America in the 1990s, a time of transition and transformation. The quarter, as a piece of currency, reflects the state of the nation at the time it was made. For coin collectors, this connection to a specific moment in history can add to a coin's appeal, making it not just a collectible item but also a small piece of the country's larger narrative. Now, let's talk about how all of these factors, design, minting process, errors, and historical context, combine to make the 1993 quarter one of the most coveted coins for collectors. As we've already discussed, the 1993 quarter was minted in large numbers, so on the surface it may seem like an ordinary coin. However, it's important to remember that the world of coin collecting operates on a different set of rules than most people are used to. What may seem like a simple piece of currency to the untrained can actually hold significant value depending on its condition and rarity. This is where the big surprise comes in. While the 1993 quarter might have originally been worth only 25 cents, a rare and well-preserved example of this coin can now be worth a staggering $115,000. Yes, that's right, $115,000. This value isn't for just any 1993 quarter. but rather for those that have rare minting errors, those that are in perfect uncirculated condition, or those that have been specially preserved over the years. The reason for this astonishing value comes down to the rarity of these coins. In a sea of millions of 1993 quarters, only a select few have the right combination of factors to make them worth such an extraordinary sum. But when a collector is able to find a 1993 quarter with just the right characteristics, it becomes a treasure, a true gem in the world of numismatics. To put this in perspective, imagine you come across a 1993 quarter at a coin shop or in your change. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin, but now you know that it could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. If it's an uncirculated example or if it features a rare error, its value could skyrocket. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for coins like this, which is why the market for such rare quarters continues to grow. In conclusion, the 1993 USA quarter dollar may seem like a simple coin, but it holds within it a story of craftsmanship, history, and hidden potential. The value of a quarter from this year can range from just 25 cents to a jaw-dropping $115,000, depending on the unique qualities it possesses. Whether it's a rare minting error, an impeccable strike, or its connection to a particular era in American history, the 1993 quarter is much more than meets the EYE.SO. The next time you're sifting through your change or your coin collection, take a moment to examine each coin carefully. You might just find a 1993 quarter that could be the key to a small fortune. It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones we least expect. When we think about collectible coins, our minds often turn to rare treasures that hold stories from centuries past. Perhaps coins from ancient civilizations or iconic pieces of currency that have survived the test of time. But it's incredible how even modern-day coins, ones that are relatively recent and produced in vast numbers, can take on a life of their own, becoming sought-after relics that demand astonishing sums of money. Among these modern coins is one that has captured the attention of collectors and history enthusiasts alike: the 2001 USA quarter-dollar Vermont coin. At first glance, this might seem like just another state quarter, part of the U.S. Mint's ambitious 50-state quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. But this particular quarter holds a much deeper significance, and over time, it has become one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the world of numismatics. A coin that, today, could easily be worth as much as $66,000. Yes, you heard that right, $66,000 for a single quarter. Let's dive into the fascinating world of the 2001 Vermont quarter, exploring not only its design and historical importance but also the rare features that have made it one of the most coveted coins in recent times. This story starts in 1999, when the United States Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. The goal was simple yet ambitious: to honor each of the 50 states with its own quarter, a unique design that represented the culture, history, and landmarks of that state. With each state receiving a different design, the project captured the imaginations of coin collectors and everyday Americans alike. For years, the Mint worked to release these new state-themed quarters, one after another, creating excitement with each unveiling. Each coin in the program is a time capsule in itself, a snapshot of American history frozen in metal, waiting to be discovered and appreciated by collectors. By 2001, the U.S. Mint had already released a dozen quarters, and Vermont was next in line to be honored. When it came time to design the Vermont quarter, the Mint turned to a symbol that was deeply meaningful to the state's residents and to anyone familiar with Vermont's natural beauty and history. Vermont, often referred to as the Green Mountain State, was admitted into the Union in 1791, and since then, it has become famous for its stunning mountain landscapes, quaint rural towns, and distinctive culture. It's a place where the green forests stretch for miles, and every season brings its own unique beauty. But one of the most beloved and iconic symbols of Vermont is not man-made. It's a natural rock formation known as the Old Man of the Mountain. This remarkable formation was located in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, right on the border with Vermont, and it had become a well-known symbol of the state. The formation, over the course of many centuries, had eroded in such a way that it created the unmistakable shape of an elderly man's face, peering out from the rocky cliffs. For Vermonters, the Old Man of the Mountain wasn't just a geographical oddity. It was an enduring representation of the state's rugged natural beauty and resilience. It was even featured prominently on Vermont's state seal, and the image of the old man's face appeared on Vermont license plates for decades. In 2001, when the Mint sought to capture the essence of Vermont, the decision was made to feature the Old Man of the Mountain on the quarter's design, forever immortalizing this beloved landmark in coinage. The design, created by artist John Flanagan, shows the old man's face staring out over the landscape of the Green Mountains. It's a simple but powerful image, with the rock formation's distinct features captured with incredible detail. Along the top of the coin, you see the word Vermont boldly inscribed, and beneath it, the date 1791 signifies the year the state became the 14th to join the Union. The design is serene and peaceful, perfectly encapsulating the state's quiet beauty and natural grandeur. There's something incredibly poignant about this design, especially given what was to happen in just a few short years. The Old Man of the Mountain was a symbol that had been cherished by Vermonters for generations, so the release of the quarter was met with much excitement. It was an opportunity for the people of Vermont to celebrate their heritage and share a piece of their state's history with the rest of the country. However, what many people didn't know at the time was that the quarter, which was issued in large numbers, would go on to become far more than just a symbol of Vermont. It would become a rare collector's item that would captivate the world of numismatics and eventually reach jaw-dropping values. The reason for this rarity? Minting errors. It's an interesting facet of coin collecting that few people outside the world of numismatics understand. While the mint produces millions of coins each year, not all coins are perfect. Sometimes, slight imperfections or mistakes occur during the minting process, and these coins can be incredibly valuable to collectors. The 2001 Vermont quarter is one such example. The quarter, despite its mass production, contains certain variations and errors that set it apart from the rest. One of the most coveted errors is the double die effect, where certain elements of the design appear doubled because the coin was struck more than once, and the second strike was slightly misaligned. For the Vermont quarter, this doubling effect was particularly noticeable in the lettering, especially the word Vermont and the year 1791. It wasn't just a subtle difference. The error was glaring enough that it was easy to spot for anyone with a trained eye. But this double die effect was incredibly rare, and it wasn't something that occurred across every Vermont quarter. Only a limited number of these error coins were struck, and that made them highly desirable to coin collectors who specialized in such imperfections. At the time, these error coins were initially released alongside the regular versions of the Vermont quarter, and many people had no idea just how valuable these coins would become. As more and more collectors began to recognize the error and the rarity of these particular coins, the market began to take notice. Over time, word spread throughout the numismatic community, and demand for these special Vermont quarters grew. Coins that had once been worth only 25 cents were now selling for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, particularly if they were in excellent condition and featured the double die error. But the real shock came when a particular 2001 Vermont quarter, with an especially clear doubling error, sold for an incredible $66,000. To many, this was an unbelievable amount for a single quarter, but to serious collectors it made perfect sense. When you combine the rarity of the error, the historical significance of the Old Man of the Mountain, and the coin's excellent condition, you begin to understand why a collector would be willing to pay such a price. This wasn't just a quarter, it was a piece of American history, a symbol of Vermont's natural beauty, and a rare numismatic treasure that would likely never come around again. And while the $66,000 sale of a Vermont quarter made headlines, it wasn't an isolated case. Over the years, other Vermont quarters with similar errors have fetched impressive sums, further cementing the coin's place in the annals of rare and valuable U.S. currency. Collectors who understand the intricacies of coin production and the importance of rare minting errors are always on the lookout for these special versions of the Vermont quarter, as they know that owning one could mean holding onto a small fortune. For many of us, the 2001 Vermont quarter may seem like just another coin we pass by in our pocket change, but for the right collector, it's a treasure worth hunting for. It's a reminder that even in the world of modern coins, rarity can be found in the most unexpected places. And for those lucky enough to own a rare 2001 Vermont quarter, they have a piece of American history that not only honors the beauty of Vermont, but also represents the extraordinary world of coin collecting. A world where a small quarter can become an invaluable asset. So, the next time you're digging through your spare change, you might want to take a closer look. You never know when you might come across a hidden gem, a coin with a fascinating history, a beautiful design, and a story of how it went from being just another piece of currency to something far more precious than anyone could have imagined. Imagine holding in your hands a coin, just a simple quarter, no bigger than a typical coin you'd find in your pocket, and yet this coin, this seemingly unremarkable piece of currency, could be worth thousands of dollars. What makes a 2015 USA quarter dollar different from the hundreds of millions of others that have been minted and are now casually used in daily transactions? Well, it's all about the details. A coin that's been carefully designed, minted, and distributed can end up holding far more value than its face value. The 2015 USA quarter dollar is one such coin, a coin that holds a remarkable story that we're going to explore today. From its historical background and its stunning design to the unexpected errors that make it incredibly rare and its eventual rise in value, this quarter has a lot more going for it than you might initially think. First, let's set the stage. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program. The goal was ambitious: to honor each of the 50 states in the Union with a unique quarter design. This program captivated the imagination of the American public and coin collectors alike. It was a fascinating journey through the history and culture of each state, from the plains of Nebraska to the beaches of Hawaii. The Mint released 5 state quarters every year, each with a design that symbolized a key feature, historical moment, or landmark of that state. People collected these coins, saved them in books, and traded them in an effort to gather the full series. The 50-state quarters program became one of the most successful coin series in history. By 2015, the program was nearing its end, but it still had one final state to commemorate. Vermont, the 14th state to join the Union, was the last in line for its quarter design, which was officially released in 2015. Now, it's important to note that Vermont wasn't just any state. It has a rich history steeped in the American Revolution and a unique natural beauty that is widely recognized throughout the world. It's a place defined by its mountainous terrain, picturesque towns, and a landscape dotted with lakes and forests. The state is deeply proud of its natural wonders and historical significance. Its symbol is the Green Mountains, which stretch across the state and shape its identity. Vermont's rugged natural beauty has long been a point of pride for its residents, and that's exactly what the U.S. Mint wanted to capture in the design of the 2015 Vermont quarter. The design process for state quarters wasn't something that happened overnight. It was a carefully planned and highly collaborative effort. The U.S. Mint worked with artists, state officials, and historical societies to ensure that each design was a fitting tribute to the state's history and identity. For Vermont, they decided to feature one of the state's most recognizable natural features, the Green Mountains. The coin features an image of the iconic Camel's Hump, one of the most famous peaks in the Green Mountain Range. Camel's Hump has long been a symbol of Vermont's beauty and ruggedness, and it's instantly recognizable to anyone who has traveled through the state. The quarter's reverse side depicts the camel's hump towering majestically against the backdrop of Vermont's wide-open landscape. It's a beautifully crafted design that conveys the sense of vastness and strength that is characteristic of Vermont's terrain. The artist behind the design, Joel Iskowitz, brought this image to life with impressive detail, capturing the peak in a way that almost makes it feel like you can reach out and touch it. Beneath the mountain, the words Vermont and Green Mountain State are inscribed, tying the design back to the state's identity and its iconic symbol. This quarter became not just a piece of currency, but a lasting tribute to Vermont's natural splendor. But as we all know, not every coin is minted perfectly. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the imperfections, those subtle errors that can make one coin worth thousands of dollars while another, just like it, might be worth only face value. And this is where things get interesting with the 2015 Vermont quarter. While most of the quarters were minted without issue, there were a few that had certain anomalies, creating rare error coins that became highly coveted by collectors. One of the most valuable types of error coins associated with the 2015 Vermont quarter are the coins with what's called a double die error. This is a minting defect that happens when the coin dies. The engraved stamps used to create the image on the coin are misaligned. Essentially, this means that the coin has been struck twice, and as a result, the design on the coin appears doubled. This can happen in specific areas of the design, such as the letters or numbers. In the case of the 2015 Vermont quarter, many of the error coins exhibit a doubling effect in the word Vermont, or the year 2015. These doubled letters are slightly offset from their original position, creating a blurry, ghost-like image of the text. For coin collectors, these kinds of errors are incredibly valuable. Why? Because error coins are rare. They're the result of a mistake made during the minting process, and only a handful of coins are typically affected. So, when a coin with a double die error hits the market, it's an exciting discovery for collectors. They are always on the lookout for these rare coins, hoping to strike it rich by finding an error coin that could potentially be worth a fortune. And that's exactly what happened with the 2015 Vermont quarter. While most people might have simply tossed these quarters into their change jars or spent them on their daily purchases, there were a few people who took a closer look at the coins they had collected. One collector, in particular, noticed the double die error in a 2015 Vermont quarter that had slipped through the cracks. It was a minor error, but it was enough to make the coin stand out. What happened next would stun the coin collecting world. The collector managed to auction off this coin for a jaw-dropping $44,000. Yes, you read that correctly. This 2015 Vermont quarter, which most people would have thought was just another piece of pocket change, fetched $44,000 at auction. The rarity of the double die error, combined with the coin's excellent condition, made it a highly sought-after collectible. This sale sent shockwaves through the numismatic community and brought attention to the 2015 Vermont quarter, causing many collectors to dig through their change jars, looking for similar errors. The demand for error coins from this series increased, and prices for these rare finds continued to climb. Now, you might be wondering how exactly this coin managed to fetch such a staggering amount. Well, it's all about the scarcity. Minting errors like the double die are incredibly rare, and when they happen, they can turn an ordinary coin into a small treasure trove of value. The 2015 Vermont quarter with the double die error became one of the most valuable coins in the U.S. mint's history, as the combination of a recognizable and desirable error, paired with its historical context, gave it a value that far exceeded its face value. This raises an important point. In the world of coin collecting, it's not just about how old the coin is, but rather the rarity and condition of the coin. A coin that's only a few years old, like the 2015 Vermont quarter, can still become an incredibly valuable piece of history if it has something unique about it. Minting errors, unique features, and even slight variations in design can drastically change the worth of a coin. That's what makes coin collecting such an exciting and unpredictable hobby. While not every 2015 Vermont quarter will be worth $44,000, there are certainly many out there that could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars if they contain similar minting errors. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins with misprints, doubled designs, or any anomaly that sets them apart from the millions of others produced. For those with a keen eye, a simple trip to the coin jar could yield something far more valuable than they ever imagined. For now, the 2015 Vermont quarter remains a testament to the surprising ways in which even the most unassuming items can hold tremendous value. Whether it's the double die error or the coin's beautiful design that captures the spirit of Vermont, there's no denying that this quarter has earned its place in the pantheon of rare and valuable U.S. coins. So, next time you come across a 2015 Vermont quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it because you never know, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. In the last Top 5 in 2016, the United States Mint released a special quarter that would not only commemorate the history of one of the nation's most pivotal military landmarks, but also capture the attention of numismatists and collectors alike. This quarter, the 2016 USA quarter dollar Fort Moultrie, quickly became one of the most sought-after coins in recent years, drawing interest for its historical significance, its beautiful design, and, most remarkably, the surprising value it would achieve on the collector market. What makes this coin stand out in a series of state quarters and national park designs is its deep connection to American history, the thoughtful artistry that went into its creation, and the allure of minting errors that turned it into an unlikely treasure. Before we even dive into the quarter's design or minting details, let's take a step back and consider the historical context of Fort Moultrie and why it was chosen to be commemorated on this coin. Fort Moultrie, located in Charleston, South Carolina, is not just a military installation. It's a site of significant historical importance, particularly in the early days of the American Revolution. The fort is named after Colonel William Moultrie, a hero of the American Revolution who led South Carolina's militia forces during the Battle of Sullivan's Island in 1776. This battle was one of the first major military victories for the American forces during the Revolution, and it took place on the very grounds where Fort Moultrie would later be built. But Fort Moultrie's significance didn't end with the Revolution. Over the years, the fort played a critical role in defending the Charleston harbor, standing guard through multiple conflicts, including the Civil War. The fort itself is made of a unique material coquina, a limestone-like substance that is made up of small shells. This building material was significant because it proved highly effective in absorbing the impact of cannonballs during the Revolutionary War, contributing to the fort's strategic importance in American history. It was this rich military history and the fort's connection to the American Revolution that made it a fitting subject for inclusion in the U.S. Mint's America, the Beautiful Quarters program. This program, which started in 2010, was designed to honor national parks and historic sites across the United States, showcasing the beauty and diversity of America's landmarks. Each quarter in the program would feature a unique design that represented a different site, and Fort Moultrie was selected to represent South Carolina in 2016 as part of this ongoing tribute to America's most iconic places. Now, let's talk about the coin itself. The design of the 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter was created by artist Michael Gaudioso, who was responsible for translating the historic significance of the fort into a visual design that would fit on the reverse side of a coin. The final design features a stunning depiction of Fort Moultrie itself, with the fort's distinctive coquina walls prominently featured in the foreground. Above the fort, the image of the American flag waves proudly, symbolizing the fort's long-standing role in defending American freedom. In the background, you can see the serene waters of Charleston Harbor, evoking the fort's strategic location and its vital role in safeguarding the harbor from potential attacks. The design is masterfully crafted, capturing the essence of Fort Moultrie's role in American history. The soft curves of the coquina stone, the fluttering flag, and the calm harbor water are all rendered with incredible attention to detail. The design also incorporates inscriptions around the edge of the coin, including South Carolina and Fort Moultrie, as well as the year of minting, 2016, and the phrase, the Palmetto State. This design is not only historically significant but also visually striking, making it an attractive coin for collectors who appreciate fine artistry as well as the historical themes behind each coin. When the 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter was released, it was part of the U.S. Mint's ongoing efforts to honor both historical sites and natural beauty across the United States. However, what sets this particular coin apart from other quarters in the America the Beautiful series is the way it resonates with collectors. While most quarters are still in circulation, the Fort Moultrie quarter gained immediate attention due to its connection to a pivotal moment in American history, the quality of its design, and the possibility of rare minting errors, which we'll get into shortly. As with any coin, the Fort Moultrie quarter was minted in large quantities, with millions of coins being produced at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These coins were circulated just like any other quarters, but among the millions produced, a small number of coins were struck with subtle errors. It's these errors that would later make the coin so valuable on the collector market. The most common types of errors found in coins like the Fort Moultrie quarter are known as die errors or minting defects, and these can include things like misaligned dies, double strikes, and over-polished dies, which cause the design to be slightly off-center or blurry. Some collectors began to notice that certain 2016 Fort Moultrie quarters featured minor, yet intriguing errors. These errors included doubled images, where elements of the design, like the letters or parts of the fort's architecture, were slightly repeated or misaligned. These double-struck coins are often highly prized in the numismatic world because they are unique, one-of-a-kind errors that can't be replicated. While they might seem like a simple mistake, to a coin collector, these errors add a layer of rarity and intrigue to an already rare coin. These error coins quickly became the focus of bidding wars at auctions, with collectors eagerly seeking them out for their collections. Now, let's talk about the value of the 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter, which is perhaps one of the most exciting parts of this entire story. While a typical Fort Moultrie quarter with no errors is worth only its face value of 25 cents, the error coins that have surfaced are worth a great deal more. The rarest of these error coins, particularly those that feature clear die errors or double strikes, have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction. The most impressive sale occurred when one such coin fetched a staggering $40,000. This particular coin, which was graded at an exceptional level by numismatic experts, stood out for its pristine condition and rare double-strike error that made it truly unique. The auction results shocked many in the coin collecting community, especially since the coin was only recently released in 2016. But this is a prime example of how coin collecting can be both unpredictable and exciting. With each minting, there is the potential for a rare, valuable coin to emerge. For collectors, this makes the hunt for the perfect coin all the more thrilling. For this particular 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter, its value was driven up by the rarity of its error and the increasing demand among collectors who wanted to own a piece of history. As with any investment, the key to a coin's value is its rarity, condition, and the demand from collectors. Coins with historical significance, unique errors, and a connection to an important moment in American history tend to increase in value over time. The 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter is a prime example of how a seemingly simple coin can turn into a prized collectible. Even though it was designed to honor a historical landmark, it has become something far more valuable, a testament to the unexpected ways in which the world of coin collecting can unfold. If you have a 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter in your pocket or tucked away in a coin jar, it might be worth taking a closer look. While not every coin will be worth tens of thousands of dollars, There are certainly coins out there with subtle minting errors that could turn them into highly sought-after collectibles. The story of the 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter is a reminder that sometimes the smallest details, the imperfections, the slight misalignments, the errors, are what make a coin truly valuable so. The next time you reach for a quarter, remember that there might be more to it than meets the eye. The 2016 Fort Moultrie quarter isn't just a piece of currency. It's a piece of American history, a work of art, and for some, a ticket to an incredible windfall. Keep your eyes peeled, because in the world of coin collecting, you never know when you might stumble upon a hidden treasure.